DraftKings Sportsbook is officially live in Ohio. New customers, download the DraftKings Sportsbook app and use code DEFEND to get $200 in bonus bets instantly when you place a $5 bet on anything. That's code DEFEND, only at DraftKings Sportsbook. Gambling problem? Call 1-800-GAMBLER. 21 and over and physically present in Ohio. Valid one offer per first-time depositors who have not already redeemed $200 in free bets via pre-launch offer. Minimum $5 deposit and wager. $200 issued as bonus bets. Eligibility restrictions apply. See dnkg.co/OH for terms.
On the floors of Tokyo, or down in London town's a go-go. With the record selection and the mirror's reflection, I'm a dancing with myself. When there's no one else inside, in the crowded, lonely night. Well, I wait so long for my love vibration, and I'm dancing with myself. Dancing with myself. Dancing with myself. Well, there's nothing to lose, and then there's nothing to prove when I'm dancing with myself. If I looked all over the world, and there's every type of girl, but your empty eyes seem to pass me by, living dancing with myself. So let's sink another drink, 'cause it'll give me time to think. If I had the chance, I'd ask the world to dance, and I'll be dancing with myself. Dancing with myself. Dancing with myself. Well, there's nothing to lose, and there's nothing to prove when I'm dancing with myself. All over the world, and there's every type of girl, but your empty eyes seem to pass me by, living dancing with myself. So let's sink another drink, 'cause it'll give me time to think. If I had the chance, I'd ask the world to dance, and I'll be dancing with myself. Dancing with myself. Dancing with myself. If I had the chance, I'd ask the world to dance. If I had the chance, I'd ask the world to dance. If I had the chance, I'd ask the world to dance. I'll sweat, and I'll sweat. Dancing with myself. Wow! Dancing with myself. Dancing with myself. Yeah, that's right. That was your old pal Eric Zane. Well, that sounded weird. What was that? Crushing Dancing with Myself from Billy Idol. Oh my gosh. Absolutely perfect. Pitch perfect. Quality entertainment. Add it to your playlist. Not at all embarrassing. I don't care. I love it. I love it. I love it. It's time for another edition of Not the Best of, the Eric Zane Show podcast. The only show that actually I have no idea what the hell is going on. Quite literally, I'm just saying, all right, this looks like something good from the past. Not even listening to it. It might even be a show where I'm crying about something again. I mean, like literally crying. Anyway, enjoy Not the Best of, the Eric Zane Show podcast.
And welcome into the Eric Zane Show podcast from the Back Alley Comedy Club Auxiliary Studio Pardon me, I have to blow my nose, and I'm going to turn this down so you don't get wind of this nonsense. Stand by. Okay. Sickness has once again invaded the household. Yeah, great time to lose your insurance, by the way. Hey, it's a perfect time to talk about the Patreon. If you like the free podcast and you want more, please go to ericzaneshow.com and click where it says Patreon. What is that? Well, that's where you can drop $5 in there every month, and you get the extra podcast every day. Every day. Monday through Friday, that is. Okay? Extra stuff for you. Funny stuff. The extra one is where I let it fly more. I've decided that I'm not letting it fly as much with the nasty words. And not even then isn't that strong. I just wasn't comfortable with it. But if I do it, I do it on the Patreon. Just because I don't want to get in trouble with the internet police. Believe it or not, there are some ramifications to that. I can make money online with Facebook and stuff like that. If they look at this and listen to one of these videos, they're like, hey, wait a minute, this guy's a jackass. What the hell is he doing? We're not giving him the 8 cents per 900,000 views as if I get 100,000 views. There is a theory going around as to how the illness invaded this household. And I'm going with it. I think it was Zaniac Stevie, who pointed out this is because of Eric drinking the water with the gum from Coach Ben Simon. That is a great theory. I'm going to find out if that guy's been sick or not, because ingesting his gum AIDS water would do it. So I apologize about my energy level being a little bit off today. If I start to get really intense with the voice, it actually burns my throat. Here's how it goes. I coughed so hard and so violently in the last 24 hours that I injured myself. Have you ever done this? Where in your back there is a muscle that it's called like the get injured by coughing muscle. And if I cough, it's like who was that tennis player who got stabbed in the back? Monica Seles. I feel like Monica Seles when she got stabbed in the back every time I cough. Great reference that no one knows, stupid. Big fat dummy. So, man, now I have been able to figure out how to cough without it causing pain. And what you have to do is I have to sit way up straight and exaggerate my posture and put my hands like over my head. And then I can sneeze and cough without feeling like, someone in the Hunger Games just threw some medieval weapon into my back. And, boy, I don't know what's with these references today. I think the illness is saying, hey, let's be stupid. You're a jerk. Today's show, holy cow. The content on these shows is getting more and more involved and long. Jeez. And that's good. So what we have today is coming up in just a bit here is Dear Meathead. Now, I published the video if you want to see me talking to Dad on Facebook. But if you're just driving around, you want to hear Dear Meathead, I got it for you on the freebie. That is how we'll start. Dad has some crazy advice for a guy who, quote, wants to get some trim. Dad does not know what that means, I'll tell you that. What he says is awesome. After that, the yucks kind of die down because I have an interview, a full-length interview with two people that are from the Grand Rapids area, I believe Wyoming. They are a young couple by the name of Andrew and Hillary Dykstra. They have a 2.5-year-old little girl named Claire. Do you remember this story? Grandpa Dykstra, I guess it wouldn't be Grandpa Dykstra, Hillary's dad, was walking through Rogers Plaza, helping the little one learn to walk. The little one, Claire, is missing a key component of her brain. It's just not there. It's called the corpus callosum, or callosum. And she just doesn't have one. So her little brain takes longer to, as Hillary described it, map out. So like when you and I learn to walk, there's a pathway that goes through your brain. Well, her brain can adapt. It just takes forever. So the best way to do this is to have sustained bouts of walking for 20, 30 feet. And they don't live in a mansion, the folks. So they head over to Rogers Plaza. What the hell? Nobody's there anyway. Some jackass, if you remember this story before Christmas, like a big blowhard comes up to him and tells him to get the hell out of here. And he says some other things that Hillary talks about. The story pissed me off so bad. We had her on BBL. And thank God we're now here, because just as many people can hear the story on the pod at length. And the reason why they're here is because, or you'll hear them in the studio, is because there is an event, a fundraising, I should say awareness-raising event at Rogers Plaza. That comes up on Sunday, and I'm going to be there showing support. So will Diana. I think Madison wants to go. It's an organized event called Walking with Claire at Rogers Plaza, and we're going to meet over like the post office area. You can't miss it. All the TV channels are there. This dickhead, his name is Mud, and he is such a douche. So I'm hoping we get sprayed down with hoses, maybe a couple flash grenades. I'm just kidding. I don't want that to happen, but I feel like I'm part of something big by getting with these folks, this awesome family. They got a ton of friends and family. We're going to get together. We're going to walk around that place, and hopefully Chief Screw number 1 won't be a butt. There's a lot about this story that I cannot get over, and we talk about it in that interview. So look, I'm going to leave it right here and pass it off to those 2 segments. Thank God I got those in the can, because I am just cooked. Still got oh God, that's what I'm talking about. If you saw that right now, you'd have thought I was like having a seizure. Okay, folks, enjoy the day. Help me out. Patreon.com/Eric Zane. You can get to it at ericzaneshow.com. Buy a t-shirt. Man, that's good stuff. Also, thanks again to Don Veltman and my friends at Back Alley Comedy Club Saturday night to see Mike Logan. Mike is a funny dude. He was on the show with us earlier this week, and I want a bunch of people there. If you want to go, because Don, man, I realize Muskegon's kind of off the beaten path, but Muskegon's awesome, first of all. They get a bunch of support from Andy O'Reilly. He's another dude doing it online, former radio guy, got chewed up and spit out. And so I really want people to go to Back Alley. I got one listener going, a pair, but I want to give more away. If you want to go see Mike Logan, 8 o'clock on Saturday at Back Alley, all you got to do is send me an email, eric@ericzaneshow.com, and I will hook you up, okay? Send me an email, eric@ericzaneshow.com, and we'll go from there. All right, folks, thank you. Have a good one. Thanks for the support. Bye-bye.
Hello.
Papa.
Hey.
How are you?
Okie dokie. How are you?
No complaints.
Good for you.
Well, I take it back. I've been complaining all day.
Oh, no way. Why?
Well, I'm very sick.
What's the matter? Oh, the cold?
Yeah, it's gotten so bad. I mean, it's like really knocking me down a peg.
Joanne just recovered. We got 2-3 weeks.
Yeah.
2 weeks she's been at it. What is it that you had, Joanne?
I've had laryngitis.
She had laryngitis.
Yeah.
Hey, take care of that, because it can really put you down.
Oh, yeah, it is. I am down. I've been in bed all day.
How are you going to be able to handle your show, honey?
Yeah, that's a good question. I'm doing it right now, so... You know what's funny about that? A lot of people might say, well, you're just talking. But there's more to it than that. Talking, I found this out, leads to inflammation.
Yeah.
And like in your throat, you know?
You think that causes that?
Well, it doesn't help the healing.
Yeah, you're irritating it, you know.
So it gets a little weird. But
how are you going to manage on it, the show?
Well, it's
just a talking show.
Well, you know how it is. You kind of suck it up, and away you go, right?
I guess so, but I don't know. When I'm down the way you're talking, I just don't want to be talking.
I know it. So I've laid low most of the day, and you know.
Do you think you're required to see a doctor to get some medication?
You can't get medication for a cold.
Oh, Joanne says you can't get medication for a cold.
I think I'm just going to take it easy, and then it'll kind of work its way through, you know?
Yeah. But I don't know.
Some water.
Hey, do you have health insurance now?
I've got health insurance from my old work till the end of the month. And then...
Are you making arrangements to get covered?
Yes. You know how the government, you go to the website healthcare.gov?
I don't know that, but go ahead.
I do.
Yeah.
Joanne says she knows.
You know, some people, when they cannot pay, they apply for help and assistance.
Yeah.
We're not going that route. It's not that bad. You go and you search a plan. You try to get the best one. You pay for it out of your pocket, pay the premiums, and then off you go. It's expensive, but the family's covered.
Yeah, well, we pay like almost $600 a month.
Oh my God, that is that's tough.
Yeah.
So, Dad, do you have any home remedies I should know about? Because I know from the old country, you know, don't you like? Wouldn't you guys like bite the heads off rattlesnakes to feel better?
No, honey, I don't know any home remedies of any kind from our country. But Joanne's got a lot of experience. What do you want, Joanne?
You can boil some water.
Boil water in the house during the day.
Some steam.
Yeah.
Steam up the house.
Yeah. You won't believe it, Dad. I coughed so hard that I pulled a muscle in my back.
Oh, my God.
Oh, yeah. It was brutal. You should have seen it.
Joanne says she believes it.
So now every time I cough, it feels like it's terrible pain.
Wow. You can't take time off?
Well, you know, I mean, I think it would be weird if I'm at home saying, hey, I'm not going to do anything today. It's not, I mean, I'm at home. I can just roll a file, suck it up, get it done.
Yeah, I can appreciate that.
Look up the best cough drops on the computer.
Joanne says, look at the computer for the best cough drop.
Yeah, Dad. We'll do. Hey, have you still been listening? There's been a lot of people saying that they're impressed. Excuse me.
Impressed about what?
Impressed that you finagled the internet to be able to listen to the show.
Oh, my God. I didn't do that. Joanne does that.
That's not
She
easy.
is a guru of that stuff.
That's not. I'm always impressed when someone dives into a new technology and is able to pull that off, you know?
She does it. She did it. Oh, my God. I'm amazed at her.
Nice. Hey,
I'm
Dad.
telling you.
So, Dad, you want to get to some questions? I got a few here. I don't have a ton. I've been, like I said, a little bit. I haven't done as much diligence in coming up with questions, but I do have some from last week. If you want to read them,
Sure. Go ahead.
I'll read them to you. Actually,
All right.
Dad, Regis writes this. Dear Meathead, I've been single for a little while now, and I'm trying to get back in the game. What would, in your expert opinion, be the best way, as he puts it, to get some trim?
What's trim?
I don't know. I think that's slang for like loving from a lady, you know?
Yeah.
So, yeah, I think that's...
Mucho.
Yeah, that mucho is correct. I think that's what he's looking to do, get some mucho. And a lot of our questions usually center around this type of subject matter, and I apologize for that. But, you know, I mean, some of these guys, that's all they think about. They don't think about the finer things in life. They just think about trim and mucho.
Well, can I say exactly what's on my mind?
That's
on your show?
That's up to you, Dad.
All right. Pause in the action on Not the Best of the Eric Zane Show podcast. Saying hello to my friends at Tag Accounting and Tax Services. That's the Gins. Troy Ginzer. Love them so much. TagCPA.net is their website. 616-301-9516. Check out the website. Make the call. Make preparations for your tax year. Okay, you're getting your 2022 taxes done. You do this by yourself, you're not going to get as much money back. You're going to make a mistake, and that may even cost you. Wouldn't it be great to not have to worry about any of this? Just send all your stuff to this guy who loves to do stuff with numbers. Oh, my gosh. Yes, the tax hobbit wants your business. Check out his website. See for yourself. TagCPA.net. Tag Accounting and Tax Services, 616-301-9516. Call the Tax Hobbit and mention my name. All right. Hello to Frank Fuss. My Policy Shop Insurance, 616-914-4070. Please don't try to figure out healthcare.gov on your own. If you recently lost a job, or you're self-employed, or maybe your employer does not offer health insurance, you need Frank Fuss to help you every step of the way with healthcare.gov. 616-914-4070 is Frank's number. He can also help you with any other kind of insurance, either with helping you himself or giving you a referral for whatever it is you're looking for. That's what you get when you get the number one licensed independent insurance agent / broker anywhere. That's Frank Fuss. He's helped so many of my audience members, and they've always been so very, very appreciative of Frank. Thank you. Hello to Sarah Honda Granville. Of course, Michigan's number one Honda volume dealer. No one sells more Hondas than Sarah Honda Granville. Go there, test drive a brand new one. And, as the way it goes these days since COVID, you kind of figure out what you want on your car. Kind of like what you want on your pizza, and then it shows up custom built for you. Still the case now. Sarah Honda Granville. Let's continue on with more of Not the Best of the Eric Zane Show podcast.
That's it.
I mean, I don't want to do that.
We don't have any. We don't have any restraints or anything. No one can get in trouble here. You're in safe area, Dad.
All right. Well, first thing that comes to my mind, go get yourself a hooker.
Okay. Okay.
I mean, you really got to take a chance on life, but that's a no-no, really.
Well, and in this day and age, Dad, we just talked about the internet. That's an easy thing for people to do if that's what they want,
Well, yeah, it's a low-life type of a situation as far as I'm concerned.
Yeah.
But that's not what you want, so... But that's one way out.
Yeah.
The second of all, in my opinion, is don't build up a history of looking around just for that.
Right. Let's be honest.
Look for a good friend.
Yes.
Someone to become a good friend. And be funny, have a sense of humor.
Yeah.
To draw them in your friendship. And then if the friendship manifests to be a real decent friendship, well, other natural things can happen.
Sure.
But to build your whole history of life on looking for that's a low-life thinking.
Okay. All right. So it all boils down to be a normal human being and take it at a normal pace instead of just jumping right into
that's right. Life is not built on just for that.
Yeah, come on now. But you know how young people are, Dad. I mean, I'm slowing down. You slowed down about 40 years ago, and this guy's not slowing down.
Well, he is going to pay the piper if that's all he's looking for.
Yeah, I agree.
According to my wife, slam it in the door.
Okay, say that'll settle him right down. Slam it in the door. Okay.
Cure the desire.
Hey, Dad, I got an email from a good friend of mine, and this guy's a songwriter. He lives in West Michigan in a country band. His name's Gunnar Nyblad. And Gunnar wrote in. He's got a question. Do you want to hear it?
Sure.
Gunnar writes, Dear Meathead, I am a songwriter, and my manager says that I have not written an undeniable hit that fits the country radio format. Do you have any good song suggestions about things that I could write a song about? Maybe old sayings you think would work in a song? Or should I take pride in not making garbage pop country snap track sounding songs? Gunner's
Is he asking me if I have a song that I can...
Yeah. I'm sorry, say that again? Say that again, Dad?
Something happened here. I said, is he asking me to give direction for a song?
Correct. Yes.
Unfortunately, I really can't be... I'm not educated in that department.
Well, I think what he's getting at is sometimes songwriters write about, the relationship with their kids, a good day because they went to church or something like that. I don't know. But he complains that a lot of country music is based around getting mucho, as you say it, or getting trim, as opposed to something more worthy, like a deep topic. Do you have any deep topics?
I really think that the one of the best things that a songwriter can write a song is about an individual person or persons. I think the greatest thing that I would really appreciate myself is to write a song about a mother or a father.
Uh-huh.
And the upbringing, hopefully it's a good upbringing. And take off with that and put in the lyrics that you want to meet that particular challenge of parental love and sacrifices that parents do make, good parents, to raise kids.
Yes. I like that,
and
Dad.
I really am into that.
Okay. What about if he was writing a song about getting a hooker? Do you think he could pull that off?
No, I think that sucks.
Okay. All right. Dad, you've done it again. As always, I appreciate you doing this. You and Joanne are awesome.
Well, thank you, honey. We're doing it a little.
Oh, come on now. You're like a big hit.
Well, thank you, honey.
Yeah.
Thanks to you for all the work that you're putting in there. And I want you to put this work into your own health right now.
Yep. I'm going to try, Dad.
And that's your bread and butter right now, your voice.
That's all we're doing. We're counting on people.
Okay, honey.
Dad, hey, apparently the rumor on the street is you're getting another T-shirt to replace the big one.
Oh, my God.
Yeah.
It costs a lot of money you guys are wasting like that.
No. I think Anna was able to get them to replace it or something like that, and she's like super rich. She's worth like $5 million.
Her name is Anna?
Yes.
Tell her I really greatly appreciated her and for being so diligent in getting this shirt to me. And wait a minute. What is it, Joanne?
Send money.
Oh, yeah.
Joanne says send money.
Yeah. All right, Dad. Well, you're the best.
Okay, honey. And I wish you well, and I say a prayer for you to heal.
You got it. Hey, it's interesting. As we started this, I started with a hat on and like a big sweater and a scarf, and now I'm getting warm. I think my temperature might be coming down. We'll see.
All right, I hope so, honey.
Okay.
God bless you. Say hello to the family for me.
All right, guy.
We'll hear from you soon.
Okay, Dad. Thank you.
You bet.
Love
Bye.
you. Bye-bye.
Love you, too.
Well. Oh, my gosh. Get a hooker? Yeah. Only he could say that. Sounding good as always. Dear Meathead. Every week on the Eric Zane Show podcast.
Okay, you might be wondering, why does Eric look like he's wearing like 10 sweaters or sweatshirts? That's because I'm freezing. I have this, whatever is creeping through my body is wreaking havoc. And that's why I haven't shaken the hands of my guests who are with me right now. They are Andrew and Hillary Dykstra. Welcome to the Eric Zane Show podcast.
Thank you for having us.
Oh, my gosh. Okay, so now this is a long time coming. We became familiar with each other when the Dykstras were in the news recently. I heard a story about Grandpa, and that's your
My
dad,
father.
Hillary, was walking with your little girl, Claire, who is how old?
2.5.
Walking through Rogers Plaza because it's a nice open space, whatever, and then somebody very abruptly approached Grandpa and said, all right, no more. Get out of here or I'm calling the cops. Let's back up. Before we talk more about that, I want to give everybody a little bit of background as to what is happening here in particular with the details. So Claire was born 2.5 years ago. Take us through that. When did you notice that something was a little bit that you didn't expect?
When she was first born, she was having trouble breathing.
Mm-hmm.
We didn't really know anything was going on then. She had slow reaction time, but no brain scans were done, nothing new. And then every time we'd go to the doctor, he would measure her head, notice that it wasn't growing at the rate that it should have.
Okay.
And so he thought that her skull futures,
Those are those.
skull
Is it sutures?
Sutures.
Is that because it's yeah? I remember because then they're like soft when you're a kid,
yeah,
right?
And they're supposed to expand and then they close when they're ready.
Right.
But it was not that. She was missing the middle part of her brain.
Okay, that's causing what is the development at a normal rate for a typical child.
And she also has microcephaly. That means her brain isn't as big as what it should be at a 2.5-year-old. And we've dealt with that. She's under the negative percentile for that.
Yeah.
And so that comes with its own delays and issues in itself.
Okay.
So she has a double whammy with that.
All right. Okay. Obviously, you're working with doctors on a regular basis. You have to take extra careful steps to try to further her development. And walking, something that we all take for granted, you have to really work with Claire to be able to get her to that level that you and I, like I said, take for granted.
Yeah, we didn't know what to expect her first year. She was almost failure to thrive. Her second year, she started hitting huge milestones, starting to crawl, and then she went to therapy and went on a treadmill, started to walk, and that's when she had to go past that point to further on to progress. And that is why she was taken to Rogers Plaza.
Okay.
Where we're open space, less foot traffic, less sensory issues.
Right.
But she still got social interaction.
And community integration is a huge...
Did it ever occur to you that you being there might be affecting people or obtrusive or was there ever a sign that you were doing something wrong
Never.
leading up to this?
Never. My dad had people coming up to him, patting him on the back, saying, "You're doing an excellent job, keep it up." The people would know her walking and go cheer her on. Go, Claire, bring her suckers.
Oh, yeah. So all the regular walkers would see her, maybe the store owners. So kind of like over time, she and Grandpa are almost a fixture.
Yes.
Okay.
Yes.
Now, the fateful day, that was sometime in December, was it not?
Yes.
Yeah, just before Christmas.
Take me through it, because I saw the video, but I want to hear it from you. How did it happen?
Well, there was one time that the manager did come walking by. He didn't stop or anything. They were putting on her braces and her shoes, and she can't sit in a regular chair. So they were on the floor, and he said, "You can't sit on the floor," and just kept walking, never introduced himself.
Okay.
He doesn't look like a manager. They thought he was joking, some person there. And then the next time he came up to him, my dad was trying to explain to him that Claire has a disorder, missing part of her brain, and that's when he began to yell at him.
And that was the guy who had the temper tantrum on the video.
Yes.
He was very aggressive style, angry tone of voice. Wasn't having a bit of it.
No, didn't. I would, as a human being, see that there's a little girl. One, you've seen her get her braces put on. That's not normal. And to have a child that age, I mean, she may look younger, but she definitely doesn't look like she's just big. She's not a baby.
Right.
And she shouldn't be having.
Yeah,
she shouldn't be walking with a walker.
With her. I mean,
right.
You should be able to tell.
Right. How could you possibly take that aggressive stance when you know something's a little bit different than most little kids that age?
And if he would have calmly explained to them, my dad is very passive. He does not want conflict. If there was any trouble, they would have done something different. And people keep saying that, oh, it's not a place for physical therapy. One, physical therapy is done everywhere. I do physical therapy. I can take my patients to the store. I can take them anywhere. It's a part of therapy. It's not exercises.
Well, you can walk in public places. That is the bottom line is there's nothing illegal about going for a walk in a public place.
All right, friends, not the best of the Eric Zane Show podcast. Pause in the action. Thank you, Kent County Health Department. AccessKent.com/health. If you need anything concerning the WIC program, immunizations for the little ones at little or no cost, personal health services, call upon the Kent County Health Department. accesskent.com/health, the website. TC Paintball. We have a paintball event coming up January 15th. That's Sunday. Cannot wait. So looking forward to that, and I want to see you there. All you have to do is let me know that you're coming. Drop me a line, Eric at ericzaneshow.com, and we will count on seeing you there. 5 p.m. start, Sunday the 15th, TC Paintball. Blue Frost IT. If you are a small or medium-sized business in West Michigan, it's time to consider, or if you need to consider, upgrading the tech. Have a 30-minute conversation with the folks at Blue Frost IT before you figure out what you're going to purchase. The folks at Blue Frost IT will help you with that decision. Figure out what your business needs are. That way, you're not buying something you don't need. You got to have an expert opinion as to what your business needs. That's what Blue Frost IT is all about. 616-200-8550. Continuing on with more of Not the Best of, the Eric Zane Show podcast.
And also, it wasn't just with a therapist. My dad would take her all the time. And she started off, when she was going there, being able to, you'd have to move her legs for her to go to walk 200 feet with someone propelling the walker, but her doing the walking.
Okay.
So there was positive in this.
So that happens, and I saw Grandpa. He handled it awesomely. I mean, just there's something special about someone who can take something as heinous as that and callous as that was and just sit there and blink because, you know, it's almost like live to fight another day. There is another time, and he's waiting for it in his own venue, which is what we're doing right now, as opposed to it getting out of hand. So I applaud him for that. You go home. The video is on hand. You have the video. How long did you wait before you published the video on Facebook?
I waited. We had a different post going through with some of the disability advocates. But for me, I waited a couple weeks. A week.
I pretty much, when I got home and heard about the situation, I contacted, first I contacted that manager and asked him what had happened.
Right.
And he was not apologetic to me at all.
Yeah, I remember that part of the story.
Very confrontational.
Oh, boy.
And so I, you know, at that point, you know, being in the special needs community, we do have, you know, some avenues that we can reach out to. So I reached out to them to figure out what I needed to do.
Yeah.
Just to, you know, see.
Excuse me.
Just to see, you know, if there was anything about it. I mean, we weren't looking for anything at that point.
No.
You know, just, you know, is this something that we're taking out of context or what?
How did you feel? How would you have felt if after this all got started, there had been just one mind in this whole mix that started to that saw it from your point of view, just somebody who gave you a bone? Would that have helped?
That would have squashed this whole thing right from the beginning.
You weren't looking for a fight.
No.
I mean, who has time for that? I mean,
any special needs parent, you know, like she's said hundreds of times now, there's no special needs parent or any parent for that matter out there that is looking for these type of situations. You just kind of want to, you know, do the status quo, help your child as much as possible, and, you know,
we don't need.
You don't want to fly under the radar.
Right. There was speculation. Well, I shouldn't say speculation. To me, it's kind of fuzzy because after the firing stuff, a lot of things left my mind. But did someone accuse you of trying to get money? Did that happen, or is that fake?
Their lawyer. Well, we're not sure if he's still their lawyer or not. The disability advocates on our behalf have been reaching out to that company, but he said that
we were using a disability to cause a problem. 99% of the people have our back, but there is that 1% that has to make comments that
trolls.
How dare you let your child crawl on the floor? And it's I see people on the floor everywhere. Claire doesn't make that decision to do that. She can't help it. That is her body.
She needs a little room. I mean, what's the big deal? There is no big deal. No. This guy who, comes at you guns a-blazing, I can only imagine what it's like in the world of the people who run the facility now, because you make all the phone calls. It goes poorly. You decide, okay, somebody needs to know about this. How did TV get involved? Did you approach TV or did TV see it?
We did not. They saw the video, and everyone that saw the video contacted them the next day after I posted the video and did the whole story. All WZZM, Fox, and Wood TV all contacted me right in the morning.
Yeah, and then I think I called you at about the same time, and then off we went. Mm-hmm. Did that soften their opinion of this, the folks there? Did they still double down on you? I mean, there wasn't.
Yeah, they have not changed their opinion.
Well, actually, they sent out a letter.
Yeah.
It was too late by then. After the news stories, they said, "We apologize to the Dykstra family." And it didn't come to us. It went to the ADA. It was nothing sent to us.
You know what? Time out. Can you tell me precisely the name of what your daughter has so that we can help?
Claire has a genesis of the corpus callosum.
Okay.
And microcephaly.
And there is an organization that helps support families in that, and that's part of the reason for the walk. You're not doing it to rub their face in it.
Nope.
You're doing it to
spread awareness.
And this has turned into a blessing. Yes. It's almost like, thank God that guy was having a bad day, because I didn't know what this was. Mm-hmm. And I'm sure a lot of people that are listening to this didn't know what this was. Is it known as AD, or is there anything short for it, or anything that it goes by?
ACC.
I'm sorry?
ACC.
Okay.
There's different levels of it. Some children are born with part of it.
Okay.
With thinning part, with their corpus callosum thin, disfigured, and that all has different names.
Sure.
But for Claire, hers was completely gone.
Okay. What is the organization that is supporting the families in this? Is it acc.org? Or?
Nope. It's the National Organization for the Disorders of the Corpus Callosum.
That's all the web address?
And it's considered the NODCC.
NODCC.org.
Okay, good. This is a disease that not a lot of people know about.
It's rare.
And that's right up our alley, because, all the things we've done with the AT Children's Project, I know what it's like witnessing an organization that's helping families that has probably, I'm guessing, let me see if I can paint a picture and tell me if I'm correct. There's probably 6 people that work in the office maximum. They have a bare bones budget. Some of the people are just volunteers. And there's a board. The board consists of all parents of children who have this disease, correct?
Yep. Very correct.
That's the way it always is. Yep. But you know what? Big things happen to those organizations, because, you can throw money at it on a national level. But when these things happen like this, it moves the meter. I've seen it work. It really does. And the fact that we're going to get together on Saturday and have this walk. I'm sorry, Sunday. Jeez. On Sunday and have this walk is really, really important.
Yeah, we want it to come out positive, definitely, and we don't want this to happen to other people.
Right.
I know that we can't stop all of it, but it opens the eyes for the people that have children that have special needs, that are afraid to go out in public, and also to have other businesses aware that your employees need to look at the situation before you react, and not come after the little kid.
Everything's not just black and white.
Yeah.
Right. Show some humanity. So there's a number of stores at Rogers Plaza and they had to have heard about the plaza reacting this way. I wonder what it's like, how they're responding. Because I doubt they're going, it's about time you got rid of the Dykstras. I'm guessing they're supportive.
We really haven't reached out to them since Rogers Plaza hasn't wanted us on their property.
Oh boy!
The Claire and her Hillary's father they didn't want them on the property, and we thought it was best for us to stay away as well.
Okay.
Just for legal purposes, we didn't want to get.
So Sunday, are we like bum rushing the place? Are we going to get hosed down like in the 60s?
We shouldn't. There's going to be a lot of people there that are going to be protecting Claire. We don't know for sure if she's actually banned from coming.
This is so dumb. I cannot believe we're talking about a 2.5-year-old child and asking if she's banned.
If they want to have us leave, then we leave. We're not going to cause a ruckus.
It's a peaceful walk. We're not looking for trouble.
But there's going to be some people there that are going to be helping along the way.
Are you going to have to like give a pep talk to like, because every family's got the black sheep who's always looking to start a fight. Are you going to have round up the usual suspects and say, all right, keep it low key?
Not
we're
in
hoping
my
not.
side.
Okay. All right, good. All right, good. And I sincerely hope, and I don't think there will be. I just for the life of me, I can't understand how it got to this point.
Yeah, if like we've said right from the beginning, if they would have came out, that day, the next day, a couple days afterwards, and I mean they've had our number this whole time. Could have called us, said, "Hey, we screwed up."
Yeah.
Let's
10-minute conversation.
Let's work this through and get some training, something like that. This whole thing probably never happened.
This man, the manager, I mean, when I talked to him, the things he said to me, and I was calm. I was at work when I found out. He was heated. I was actually calm when I called and I said...
When you say he, you mean the manager or Andrew?
Andrew was heated. The manager was heated. I called and I wanted to know, where are your rules stated? I am the mother of the little girl that you kicked out today, and she has a disability, and he just started yelling at me, what don't you people understand? You can't sit on the floor. And I said, well, she's walking. She's been walking there. Don't you have a home? And our whole thing is Claire will always go with us wherever. You have to bring your children out into public so they're used to it and can live as typical a life as what they can. And I said, well, she's needs more space than what we have in the house. She can do a household distance. I said, she's been going to your store or your mall to walk farther. And he said, well, from what I saw, it looks like she can barely walk at all. And that's where I stabbed right in the heart, because she's fought so far.
The guy, here's the thing. He was once a sweet, sweet soul. And I wonder what happened along the way that made him have that crispy exterior. I don't get it. I don't understand what makes a person do what they do. And I guess you can bang your head against the wall wondering that all the time.
Yeah,
But what a miserable, miserable way to approach something that could be so easily positive. I mean, think about that. What an opportunity to do something absolutely wonderful on a real godly level. I mean, think about it. And the fact that this guy turns away from that with a hard heart and basically tells everybody to go to hell, I find it unbelievable. I wonder if he'll be there to join us in the walk on Sunday.
We wonder that too. And like I said, we're going to let the higher powers that will be there deal with that. We're just going to walk peacefully.
We're there for Claire. We're not there for Con.
It's as much as I would like to tell him what I think of him. There's, the two parts of me, the advocate, and then there's the mother. So there's two parts of me. One, I would love to sit down and explain to him, but I don't think it would matter.
No, it doesn't. If he doesn't see it now, and
which is too bad.
It's remarkable, and I'm floored at the inability to even crack a little bit to say, all right, go on, do your thing. Yeah. But no, for whatever reason, it's not going that way. I applaud you two for keeping the level heads and not making it worse, because that would only do that. And I just pray that it remains that way for Sunday. Can you please tell everybody again, Sunday at what time, so that everybody knows if they want to go and join me and join you and join Claire?
Sunday at 3 to 4:30 at Rogers Plaza. We would love all the support that we could get.
Where are we meeting at the plaza, by the way? Right by the...
Probably by the post office, right
Okay.
there. You'll see us.
We'll be there early. We have some things that we have to do.
We've got some signs.
Oh, man.
Too.
I can't wait.
It's also an open group on Facebook. If they just search Walking with Claire,
okay,
they can get any information there.
That's perfect. And all the information about the organization that supports you guys is in there as well. Websites for...
We can put it, we'll put it in there.
Okay.
So if people want to look at it more, the more the better.
Yeah.
For us.
Yeah.
And you get to meet Claire, who is charismatic, she loves people. Hoping it's not a cranky day, because she does have cranky days.
All right. Yeah, get the nap in early.
Yep. But she loves people. She loves to be out and about. And I don't know how she has one dimple and a big old smile, how anyone could do that to her.
It's crazy how callous this whole thing is.
Yeah, and so our hope is that when Claire does get old enough and finds out about this down the line, that she'll have battles the rest of her life. She's going to... This isn't going to be the first time something happens to her. But we hope that she looks back and knows that we will always have her back, and also that it's worth fighting for. It's worth your rights if you're disabled, if you're not disabled, physically disabled, emotionally disabled, whatever it is, you are welcome to go where anyone else is. And that's why we're doing this. No other reason.
Right. And I believe that, and I think it's going to be great. I can't wait to spend time with you guys Sunday at 3:00 at Rogers Plaza.
Yes, thank you.
Okay, Dyksters, I appreciate the time. I'm sorry that I'm infected right now. I made sure not to shake your hands. I don't want you to bring anything home to little Claire, but
thank you.
I appreciate you joining me on the podcast.
Well, thanks for having us.
Thank you.
Pause in the action. Okay, it's time to cut through the clutter with all of the information about online betting. MyBookie. That's all you need to know. MyBookie. New year, new you. When I say new you, I mean because you're going to MyBookie. Give yourself a fresh start with MyBookie. Whether you bet to earn, which some people do because they're good at it, or just to have some fun, MyBookie gives you the most for your money with their redesigned deposit bonus. Just use promo code ZANE on a deposit of $50 or more to receive a cash bonus instantly to your MyBookie account. Try it out. MyBookie. Promo code ZANE. Using this bonus is simple. Bet your deposit amount just once and you're ready to cash out. It's no strings attached with MyBookie. Promo code ZANE. Bet on the NFL, UFC, play for a share of big cash prizes in the weekly online blackjack tournaments. You name it, MyBookie has you covered. With so many brands to choose from, you need a platform that makes it simple to bet and win. Like MyBookie. Promo code ZANE. Bet anything, anytime, anywhere with MyBookie.
DraftKings Sportsbook is officially live in Ohio. New customers, download the DraftKings Sportsbook app and use code DEFEND to get $200 in bonus bets instantly when you place a $5 bet on anything. That's code DEFEND, only at DraftKings Sportsbook. Gambling problem? Call 1-800-GAMBLER. 21 and over and physically present in Ohio. Valid one offer per first-time depositors who have not already redeemed $200 in free bets via pre-launch offer. Minimum $5 deposit and wager. $200 issued as bonus bets. Eligibility restrictions apply. See dnkg.co/OH for terms.
On Not the Best of the Eric St. Joe podcast. Thank you, Jacob Bennett and the folks at Bennett Flooring Installation. 616-318-0167. The number one flooring installer that you will ever find. You will not be let down with the unbelievable service that you will get with an expert install from Bennett Flooring Installation. 616-318-0167. The way it works is this. You've got flooring you want installed. Maybe you started the job. You ripped up the old carpet perhaps, or maybe the old whatever. And then you're like, but I don't want to put the new stuff down because I know I'm just not qualified for it. That's fine. Call up Jacob. He'll measure the room. He'll let you know how much it's going to cost for the install. And then that's it. The flooring that I want you to install, I want you to buy at Johnson Carpet One Discount Outlet. The lowest price for storing. Good grief. The lowest price. Now I just said price. The first I said the lowest price for storing. Then I said the lowest price. Holy shit. The lowest price for flooring. My God, what a jackass. You see, I never like to stop when I'm doing the ads and I got to recut that. Fuck it. Johnson Carpet One Discount Outlet. That's like when Sam Mills, when I was talking to her on that interview, and she goes, it's just amazing. You give zero fucks about anything. I'm like, exactly. That's the key to happiness. I don't give a shit. Fucking ship it. Johnson Carpet One Discount Outlet. They're in Granville, Michigan, along Chicago Drive on the north side of the street, right behind Little Caesars. Go there. You'll see piles of every different type of flooring under the sun. Lowest price, because they buy so much of it. Add my name, Eric Zane. Or just go in and say, I listen to Fuckhead. They will know. And they will knock an additional 10% off the cost of the flooring. There you go. Johnson Carpet One Discount Outlet. And don't ever forget about Bosco's Pub, damn it. Bosco's Pub. Burgers, Boscadillas, which is a quesadilla. Boscadilla. Yeah, I know. Cold beer, stiff drinks, stiff wieners. Bosco's Pub, Hudsonville, Michigan. All right, let's continue on. More of Not the Best of, the Eric Zane Show podcast.
And hello to you all. This is the Eric Zane Show podcast. The recording that is happening, which is the Friday show of the Eric Zane Show podcast. We are doing it from the Back Alley Comedy Club Auxiliary Studio. Was once the bedroom for my youngest child. She's since been relocated to another room in order to accommodate Dad and his dumb pipe dream of being the next Joe Rogan. It makes me think back to the early years of Rogan before he became a gigantic entity. And his podcast is off the charts, unbelievably well attended. I wonder if when he started that podcast, if it was like, boy, I don't know, man. I don't know about this thing. I'll tell you what, that guy's persistent. And whether it started out crappy or not, I really don't know. But if it did start out kind of crappy and he stuck with it, that is impressive. I think anybody who's starting out a podcast or anything new and they're like, boy, this sucks. But they end up getting through the tough times and making it happen. That's exceptional. You are getting me at about 55% energy level. I would like to say that I'm giving you 100% energy. If there is a way to even quantify such a thing, I'm simply going on how I feel. But this is about all you get for vocal range. I don't have much vocal range, which will come up in a bit in a story from last night's hockey game. I'll get to that in a second. Our friends at the Back Alley Comedy Club are inviting you to see Mike Logan on Saturday night. It's an 8 o'clock show. Tickets are $7 in advance, and you can get them at ShermanBowlingCenter.com and $10 at the door to see Mike Logan. They are a key sponsor of the show. I appreciate them. We bring the comics in each and every week to talk stuff, hilarity, and whatnot. So please consider heading out to Muskegon and checking out a show at Back Alley Comedy Club at the Sherman Bowling Center. You make a night of it. That's how you do it. You know, you bowl like from 6 to 7:30, get a couple pops in you, and then you head over to the Back Alley and see Mike. All right, so that's going on. Now, the illness thing, this is substantial. Since we last spoke, I was kind of circling the drain. When I recorded for the Thursday podcast, it was prior to the hockey game and all that, and there was the day had a lot of things stacked onto it. I wasn't necessarily being a good patient. And pause on this story. A good patient is a person who lays in bed. If you are ill, believe it or not, even just getting up and moving around can cause you problems. I know this. Just stay in bed. Don't move. Don't talk. Believe it or not. You know, it causes inflammation when you have a cough and talking. I learned this when I went to a doctor one time, and I wasn't recovering. And the doctor says, "What do you do for a living?" I said, "I talk." And she goes, "Well, okay. You can't. You got to shut it down. You got to go home, whisper or write things down. Do not speak. You're not being a good patient. Go lay in your bed." That's how you recover. That's why it takes dummies like you 2 weeks to recover from something that would take a normal person 72 hours or 2 or 3 days or whatever. Hang on. Notice I'm drinking water, keeping the fluids going. Well, yesterday I was not a good patient, and the day before either. I started feeling sick on Monday. Started out bad on Monday because if you remember, I told you about the 7 1-mile repeats I did at 10K pace. That was bad, but I didn't think I was that sick then. That was the start of the trouble, weakened my immune system even more, and off we go. This all started because, in my opinion, I drank the bubblegum water from Dick Face coach Ben Simon, who I left a nasty message to today on my phone, on his phone, I should say. That put all these terrible things into play. But yesterday, so the day winds down on getting stuff ready to be published for the podcast. I had already called dude at the Griffins. His name's Brandon. He replaced Phil as the game ops guy. Superlative detail that I didn't need to tell you, but sometimes I do that in my storytelling. Sorry. And I'm like, "Look, man, I'm cooked. I'll give you all I got," as Scotty would say. I'm giving her all she's got, Captain. I'll give you all I got, but it ain't going to be much. My range is bad. Right now, the range I have is more than I had yesterday. And in that job, let me just tell you, doing PA, you're always halfway down on the gas, and then you're constantly stomping the accelerator in terms of where your voice and range is going to go, and you're getting louder and more intense, and it has to be that way. It's, at least for me, that's the way it's always been. I knew that was not happening. I'm ready to go into 4th and 5th gear all the time in that job. Yesterday, I said, all I can give you is 1st gear. We are stuck in the mud. The transmission is, I'm there, and I'll do my best, but you are not going to get anything because it's actually uncomfortably painful. We talked about how I hurt myself from coughing. I hurt the back muscle from coughing. My throat was raw, like someone had poured sand down my throat. It was bad. But I didn't think it was going to get as bad as it did. What? Yeah. Worse. I go to the game. I didn't... Normally, I dress up for the game. I'm on camera. I kind of want to have a degree of professionalism about it. I didn't care. I took a shower when I got done. Threw on beater clothes and a Carhartt and a toque and a scarf, and I was out the door. I come walking out on the ice. I look homeless. I knew the moment I started speaking into that microphone that it was going to be awful. We get through like a period of time in the game, and there's a fist fight. Giovanni Smith for the Griffs got into a fist fight with J.C. Lepon from the Manitoba Moose. I've interacted with Lepon for years. He comes skating over, and he sits down in the box, and he's kind of rattled because he just got punched in the face about 10 times, so that sucks. So he's kind of getting his bearings, and I'm not paying attention. I don't want to talk to him because after these guys get in fistfights, I try not to say anything to them. If they come in for like a minor, no big deal. But 5, his face is swollen. I don't want to say anything to the guy. And then I hear, What happened to you? I'm like, what the? I lean over. I look at Terry Marshall, the timeout coordinator. I'm like, is he talking to you? Of course he's not talking to you, Terry. Back up, Terry. I look over. He's looking right at me. I go, hey, JC. He goes, what happened? Don't you wear a suit? And I go, yeah, I'm sick. Sick as a dog. You sound like it. Okay. Hang on. Excuse me. And I go, yeah, I'm super sick. I just threw on any clothes, and here I am. He goes, oh, wow, okay, you're battling. Yeah, I'm battling. I'm not getting punched in the face, but I'm battling. I love the way Canadians talk. What happened to you? It's always unique emphasis on things. Don't you wear a suit? You're battling. It's a point of pride when a hockey player who just finished up a punch in the face contest turns to me and says, oh, you're battling. I loved that. So I go, yeah, JC, I'm battling. See ya. His short time later, his penalty ends. It's the end of that. So that. But here's where it really got off the rails. Now I had the previous night had a fever, but for some reason I thought that was in check. But no, because this all happened very, very quickly. The game ends, and I'm walking across the ice. All I want to do is get home and get to bed. And as I'm walking off the ice, I start to get cold, shivering chills. And it's usually a key indicator that you have a fever, I learned. That there's a part of your brain called the hypothalamus, I believe. Yeah, believe it or not, I looked this up. And I actually knew this from school, but I had to make sure. And it's like your body's, you have a thermostat. You and I, our thermostat is supposed to be 98.6. And our bodies like it there. That's the set point for all of us. When you have an infection in your body, what your brain does is to increase the white blood cell activity, which are the ones that fight the infection. It turns up the heat. It promotes healing. That's a fever. So a fever, though uncomfortable, because you're not used to 102 or higher or whatever, a fever is good because that is an indicator that your body is fighting, bottling. Your body's bottling. So, and when your set point goes up, your body is under the temperature and it wants to warm up. So you start shivering, and so you got to warm up. So I'm not getting warm, and I'm like my teeth are chattering as I'm walking off of the ice, and I'm shivering, and people are noticing that it's actually I'm shivering so much, it's actually affecting the way I walk, the look on my face. I mean, it was bad. I was concerned that I wouldn't be able to actually keep my hands on the wheel and drive. It was like a seizure almost. So I'm like, oh my God. And people are like, you okay? You okay? I'm like, yeah, I'm fine. I was shivering so much that the muscles in my face started to fatigue because of the unnatural movements that were taking place on the shivering. Can you believe this? Excuse me, I need a drink. I'm talking way too much. All right, so get in the car. Crank the heat. Head out on the road. The game, I was awful at the game. It was so bad. I mean, all I could do was like, let's go Griffins. And it was just terrible. Dog Thompson texting me from the bench. Are you okay? What's wrong with you tonight? Are you drunk? Are you sick? Yes, I'm bottling. Excuse me. All right. I get home and I'm still a mess. Shivering, quaking. It was so terrible. I felt so bad. Had I just stayed home and laid in bed, I think I would have. This was a relapse. This was like a terrible, terrible thing. Now, I need to get in bed. I took my pants off. I had a pair of jeans on. I took my boots off. I have a pair of thick wool socks on, no pants, my underwear. On my upper body, I have these are the layers. T-shirt, button-down black dress shirt, Carhartt, this big, thick Carhartt, scarf, and a hat. I got in bed wearing that. No lie. Ask Diana. I wanted to have her in here, but it's already jammy time. And she said she didn't want to be on here nipping out. So I'm laying there. And I go, you got to get next to me. You got to hold me. Don't let go no matter what, or I'm going to die. She does. About 10 minutes later, she adjusts her body where it's not directly on mine. And I go, oh my God, no, don't do it. This is bad. So I'm laying there, and I actually was concerned so much that I thought I was going to have to get to the hospital. I thought this is beyond normal. This is something wrong. So I just laid there, and I just closed my eyes and waited, and somehow I fell asleep. And I had taken some NyQuil, and the next thing I know, it's midnight. And I still have my Carhartt on and my scarf and my hat and my dress shirt on. And 3 blankets, by the way. I forgot to add that part. 3 blankets. I put the blankets back. I sit up on the bed, and I remove the clothing. So now it's just T-shirt, underwear. I even took the socks off. I go, all right. The shivering has subsided. All right. I get back in the bed, though. I'm still cold, but it's not as bad, so thank God. Now, you've heard about when fevers break in the movies. The fever is broken. He will live. That's the next step, because I'm under all these blankets, and at about 5 in the morning, the fever breaks, and I start to. My body temperature has dropped to 98.6. By the way, I'm assuming all this. I might be wrong on all of this. This is all what I pieced together in my head. But all I can tell you is I started sweating like a whore in church. I mean, like, I woke up and I've soaked through the clothes, through the sheets. The pillowcase is soaked. Everything is wet. Like, my body became just a giant wiener, and my whole body just jizzed all over the bed. I'm laying in a giant bed vat of man jizz. Sweat all the way through everything. And it's really uncomfortable. And it isn't just damp. I mean, it's wet. That's how bad it was. Holy cow. I actually had to go and get bath towels and lay them in the bed and in order to resume the night's sleep. It was incredible. And so, of course, I washed that today. Part of my duties is being Mr. Mom now. I'm stuck with that. No problem. I can handle that. But that was the craziest sequence of illness that I can honestly. And last time it was that screwed up was when I got fired like 15 days earlier. I don't know what story was more weird, though, because of the thing that got me was the shivers. I mean, seriously, I thought, man, I need somebody to take me home. Speaking of the T-shirts, I mentioned that. We do have T-shirts available for you for the Eric Zane Show. It just dawned on me. I haven't heard from Jericho lately. Jericho informed me that we have something new on the horizon in terms of merch. No, not yet ready. I just looked it up. Very soon, a new thing for you with merch. If you like to support the Eric Zane Show through a piece of merch, that helps, man. That is all part of it. Thank you very much. T-shirts or hoodies or long sleeve, short sleeve doesn't matter. Those things go for $24.95. Okay, so whether you get a hoodie, a long sleeve, or a short sleeve in any one of a number of colors and sizes, it's always just $24.95. You pay nothing more for shipping. It's $24.95. You might say, Zane, that's a pretty penny you're earning for those T-shirts. That's pretty good. I'll be honest with you. I'll tell you exactly how much I get per T-shirt. I get $6. I get $6 in my hand before taxes. And believe me, the government's going to want to know all that stuff. So I don't know how much it is, what the percentage is, how much is taken out in taxes. What, about 30%? 30 to 40%? State, federal? I don't know. Anyway, maybe about, I don't know percentages, but I'm guessing at the end of the day, in my pocket, maybe $4. The rest of that money, it costs a lot for the T-shirt itself, for the job of the equipment to run it, the ink, the manpower behind it, the handling of getting the order, processing the whole thing, picking that T-shirt up when it's completed, putting it into envelope. Envelope costs money. To get it out to you, the shipping, that's all part of it. Not to mention the extra cash I used to pay those two dudes, Jericho and Larry, to help run the website, ericzaneshow.com. So think about getting a T-shirt. You will help the show.
Okay, time out on the Not the Best of the Eric Zane Show podcast show, I think. Irvine's Auto Repair, Grand Rapids Hybrid and EV. 616-532-6600. Family, veteran, lady owned. Incredible. Since I've known them, they did an expansion, a massive rebuild, not a rebuild, but, I said it already. I said an expansion, and then I tried looking for another word to describe it. I already did it. My God, what is my problem? 616-532-6600. More room to serve you more. You got a website to go to, irvines.com. Look at the Google reviews from those folks that have interacted with them and had an amazing experience. Ask about the free loaner cars, early bird drop-off, late bird pickup. Irvine's in Grand Rapids. Tu madre es una puta. The immortal Joe Martinez taught me that from A&E Heating and Cooling. Betcha la chingada cabron. Say that one when you're going through the barrio here in Grand Rapids. Roll down the window and yell out, Betcha la chingada cabron. Betcha la chingada cabron. And someone's going to kick your ass. 616-516-8579. The legendary Joe Martinez is going to tune up your furnace. It's going to cost you $79. You should have this done once a year. If you don't, you run the risk of that thing breaking down on you. Heating your home's dirty business. That thing needs to be cleaned so it can be running efficiently, which saves you money on the fuel that you're burning. Hopefully it's gas. You're not one of these rednecks who's burning pellets or wood. I don't know why I've got such a hard-on against those people. I really don't. I'm just teasing you. Anyway, whether you're a city dweller or a hillbilly burning pellets and wood chunks, A&E Heating and Cooling, 616-516-8579. If you need a new furnace, they'll install the Comfort Maker brand, #1 in the world, for a reason. Batting last in the lineup today, the Mario Flores Lakeshore team of Van Dyke Mortgage. 231-332-6505. You need a mortgage? You call Mario, damn it. Now, I know the interest rates are stupidly high. They do that on purpose. Kind of slow down the spending. But if you're in the market for a home, go get a mortgage and get it from Mario. This is a client of mine, a sponsor, who he can serve you no matter where you are in the audience. There are some exceptions. Maine, Alaska, Hawaii, South Carolina. Other than that, go for it. NMLS number 3035 for the Mario Flores Lakeshore team of Van Dyke Mortgage. All right, the final run of Not the Best of the Eric Zane Show podcast.
All right, we're not done yet. Stand by. Excuse me. Coming up later on this podcast, Ron Van Timmeren. Had a nice conversation with Ron from our satellite studio at WKTV, which is Wyoming Kentwood Television Public Access, in their podcasting studio. It's a new relationship I struck up with those folks. So I meet Ronnie there, and we talk film. Ron has, we were talking about the Academy Award nominees. And I busted his balls about something, about one of the Best Picture nominees. And after I busted his balls about it, well, I didn't bust his balls, but I didn't think he wanted to wade into the waters with me of what I was talking about. But I made a good point that I think he saw what I was getting at. Make sure you stick around for that. Listen to this whole podcast. You hear Ron and I talking movies again. Ron from Studio C, Celebration Cinema. Now, I just finished watching a documentary. And a lot of people have been talking about this documentary. There's been a lot of buzz on social media and whatnot. It's a Netflix original documentary. Right up my alley. I love those, man. About the Fire Festival. Fire. There's a fire. That's F-Y-R-E. The Fire Festival. And, you know, now in my mind, this is 2015, 2016 when the Fire Festival happened. I need to confirm that right now. My whole staff here is frantically searching for the information to put on my mirror screen to tell me exactly when the fire. Oh, boy, I was way wrong. April and May of 2017. So not even 2 years ago. The Fire Festival was a music festival scheduled to take place on the Bahamian island of Great Exuma over 2 weekends in April and May 2017. Organized by Fire Media founder Billy McFarland and rapper Ja Rule as a luxury music festival to promote the Fire music booking app. The event was promoted on Instagram by social media influencers, including socialite and model Kendall Jenner, model Bella Hadid, model and actress Emily Ratajkowski, and other media personalities. All right. That's what the start of the Wikipedia article states. For me, old guy living at home, old guy not there at home, it was a music festival that they didn't do a good job of organizing it, and everybody went there, and the whole thing sucked and went home. But there was so much more to it. And, in fact, after watching it, it's I believe that there was a malice intent criminal activity, and I think most people will think that. And, in fact, without spoiling anything, you'll be very interested in seeing how this turns out. And I don't want to spoil a bit of it for you because it is so interesting. One of the things that drives me nuts when I hear a podcast is when they talk about something that they like, and then they actually tell you exactly what happened in the damn doc. Don't do that. The people who made the doc are good at making the doc. You telling me the key moments that are interesting ruined the doc, dummy. Don't ruin the piece. But all I'll tell you is this is a level of colossal effery on a level of like, well, I don't think anything is as big as Bernie Madoff, but there are people in the world who have a certain charm and an ability to convince normally sound thinking, I can't even talk today, sound thinking individuals who normally associate themselves with good intentioned, noble people. It's possible for these fraudulent people to dupe them because of their charm, their ability to talk their way in and out of anything, to be able to talk people who are so smart that they've made millions of dollars in their respective industries, to convince them to give millions of dollars to whatever cause. This is the story of Billy McFarland and how he came up with the Fire Festival. And it takes a unique twist in the end of it that shows that this guy, this Billy McFarland, will never learn anything, I don't think. He is a shyster beyond shysterdom. Holy crap, does this guy suck. You need to check it out on Netflix. I highly recommend the documentary about the Fire Festival. In fact, when you just go to search, it'll pop right up probably. And it's FYRE. Just search it. It'll go right there. I don't know why I'm telling you how Netflix works. What idiot. Hey, there's also something else on there I saw. Something about Ted Bundy. A docuseries about him released. It's like released footage of conversations with this maniac. Hang on. So I'm very interested in that. I reached out to a book company today to speak with an attempt, and I don't know if this is going to happen right away because it isn't. When the author of a book is doing interviews with Rolling Stone and ABC News, something tells me I might be put on the back burner when guy who does a podcast from his daughter's room wants an interview. But I'm trying. And what it is, it's the daughter, and she's fully accepting that she's known as the daughter of BTK. This young lady wrote a book. And, it probably would be a good idea for me not to refer to her as the daughter of BTK. But that's exactly what it is. It is called A Serial Killer's Daughter. In 2005, let me read you the description of this book, which I am getting, and I'm going to, at the very least, to read a book and just talk about it is interesting enough. But then again, I don't want to spoil it for you also. But in 2005, Carrie Rawson heard a knock on the door of her apartment. When she opened it, an FBI agent informed her that her father had been arrested for murdering 10 people, including 2 kids. It was then that she learned her father was the notorious serial killer known as BTK, a name he'd given himself that described the horrific way he committed his crimes: bind, torture, kill. As news of his capture spread, Wichita celebrated the end of a 31-year nightmare. For Carrie Rawson, the author, another was just beginning. She was plunged into by the way, she lives in Michigan. She was plunged into a black hole of horror and disbelief. The same man who had been a loving father, a devoted husband, church president, Boy Scout leader, and a public servant had been using their family as a cover for his heinous crimes since before she was born. Everything she had believed about her life had been a lie. Written with candor and extraordinary courage, A Serial Killer's Daughter is an unflinching exploration of life with one of America's most infamous killers and an astonishing tale of personal and spiritual transformation. Goes on and on, talks about it. She is Carrie Rawson, daughter of Dennis Rader, better known to the world as BTK, lives with her husband, 2 kids, and 2 cats in Michigan. Comes out January 29th. Very interesting. I read a book by John Douglas. John Douglas is the guy who invented profiling. He's like the guy who came up with, when it comes to looking at crimes, developing like what he thinks based on the interviews he's had with serial killers and other things like that in a database. He matches it up with, let's say there's a crime that takes place and a serial killer profiler investigates. And
okay, I found this on the web for serial killer profiler investigates.
Shut up. All I had to do was say cereal, and the thing went ape. Douglas invented that, and then he started interviewing serial killers, and his work in extreme note-taking led to this type of approach in solving crimes. Does this sound familiar to you? If you watch the show, what's the show called? Sorry. The one on Netflix, that Mindhunter. If you watch Mindhunter, that's the story of John Douglas. The guy who plays the lead on Mindhunter, he's playing the character, a composite of John Douglas and a couple other people. But yeah, that's the guy. John Douglas is the dude. And John Douglas wrote a book about BTK that I read. And I've talked about this before. It's freaking amazing. If you're into true crime, my God, John Douglas, BTK. Hey, staff, can you please get me the book that John Douglas wrote about BTK? And I'm asking my staff here, and they're informing me that it's called Inside the Mind of BTK, the true story behind the 30-year hunt for the notorious Wichita serial killer. Cover looks like that if you're looking on the video. Amazing book. Absolutely amazing. All real, chilling, unbelievable. Raider, you know how that dumb bastard got caught? I've talked about this before. Technology passed Dennis Rader. He became pissed off because he had lost some notoriety because he hadn't killed in a while or something like that. And he decided that he was going to, in this weird, warped way, write a letter to the police mocking them that he's coming back and I'm going to kill again. And I'm no doubt he was serious. He would have. But in the as the year 2000 whatever hit, when this all happened, when he got caught, it had been years since he had to, because back in the day, he would like write like these weirdo letters, handwritten, drop them in the mail and send them to the newspaper or the TV station or the cops. That's how he communicated. And it's very easy to cover your tracks. But this dummy, as time passed, he didn't realize, well, what he did was he was working at the church that he was like an elder at. And he wrote this creepy message and saved it onto remember those 3.5-inch discs? They were like a plastic case, 3.5-inch floppy. This idiot wrote this letter and sent it off. And the cops got their hands on it. And they go, oh, this guy's back. Hey, wait a minute. Let's send this over to forensics. And in about 1 minute of clicks, they determined not only what entity it came from, the church, but who, with the name Dennis Rader, and even the computer at which he was doing it at. It was all logged right there. So they're like, oh, okay, we just caught the serial killer. That's how they caught that guy. Is that not ridiculous? He effed up. He could still be doing this today had he not been such a jackass. That just goes to show you, stay techie, serial killers, or you'll get caught. Make sure you're up to snuff on what you're doing, because if you send something and all of a sudden you might tip them off and there's cops at the door and you're not going to be able to cut people's ears off and put them in your floorboards. Cops show up, got a search warrant, whatever. They like raid the place. I forgot how they caught him. I think he was in his car when they pulled him over. You got to get that book, though. It's awesome. So I'm really looking forward to getting that book. Listen to me, people. The Patreon is where you get an extra podcast every single day. If you enjoy the freebie, the Patreon continues the conversation every single day. What you do is you go to ericzaneshow.com, click right where it says Patreon, and that takes you to the Patreon page. It's a whole new thing. You drop $5 or $10 in there every month, and you get extra stuff every single weekday, Monday through Friday, and sometimes even more. Sometimes even more. I've been lean on the videos, and I apologize. I credit that to the illness. And I do have a lot of things that I am going to do and give you more on that. So please be patient with me. But all good. All right, folks. Very good. Have a good one. I'll talk to you very soon. And the extra pod starts in just a bit. See ya. Actually, I was only saying goodbye for the video portion of this. Ron Van Timmeren, my gosh, here we go from WKTV. We had a great conversation about the Oscars. Here it is. Ladies and gentlemen, Ron from Studio C is here to talk about the new movies at Celebration Cinema.
Hi, Eric.
Hi, Ron.
What's up?
I bet you're wondering how I was had such an easy time with that blowing out of my face. Normally, I struggle with it.
Right.
Well, one of our favorite listeners, Mike Stalkerito, printed this up for me and laminated it. So I will laminated it for me. So I will always have it. He got sick and tired of hearing me stumble around with it every single time. Thank you, Michael. Hello, Ron.
Thanks, Mike. He does. He's got a laminated piece of paper with the words typed out, and he's keeping it in his wallet. It's like a prized possession now. So
Sure.
So you can explain the sound of your voice today?
Yeah, I have talked about it a little bit on the pod, the fact that I have some crazy illness that's making me not feel so great. So, I think I'm on the uptick, though.
Nice.
I think I'm starting to turn it around. Perfect for being at our satellite studio location,
right?
WKTV,
right?
In which is Wyoming Kentwood Television. And I said it before the last time, and I still can't believe that this is a thing. The ease at which content can be made by people in the public in the community, Wyoming Kentwood. You can use their facilities, Ron. If you and I wanted to do a sketch comedy show, we could do that here, and they would teach us how to do it. What a fun thing.
I know.
I love the whole concept of community public television. It is great.
Yes. And I have friends who have taken advantage and made a little comedy sketches and posted them here and there. And they've got really good equipment here as well. Not just, your old-fashioned video cams. Yeah. The Red camera and the 4K cameras and all of that. So,
it's great. Yeah. So, this is where stars of tomorrow could... They could. If somebody's got some talent in writing, comes up with something, you never know. So that's with our friends at WKTV, and we thank them for letting us do this here. Okay, Ron. It's Oscar time.
Yep.
The nominations are out.
Yep.
What are your thoughts right now?
Well, I'm impressed by this list of 8 Best Picture nominees, including Black Panther, Black Klansman, Vice, Bohemian Rhapsody, The Favorite, Green Book, Roma, and A Star is Born. I was very disappointed that If Beale Street Could Talk did not make this list.
Yeah.
Because I'd been saying for weeks that I was blown away by that movie, and I was sure that it was going to be a Best Picture nominee, and it did not make it.
Well, I think it's because you have spoken so highly of it, and I trust you, though I haven't seen it. I know for a fact that that holds a lot of water when you feel that strongly about a film. The fact that Black Panther is there is embarrassing. It's a great movie, but it's not an Oscar film. Come on. Best Picture?
For Best Picture?
But
wait a minute. The critics loved it, and a worldwide audience loved it.
Well, you get that with blockbusters. Look at Aquaman. So that means that this time next year, we're going to be saying Aquaman's a Best Picture film?
Good point. No way.
Of course not. It's enjoyable. It's great. But in my opinion, this was given a nod because of social issues. That's what I think.
Yeah, well, and that's fair. And actually, wasn't too long ago, the Oscar So White was a big deal, and now it's Me Too. But those have all changed this industry as much as any out there in terms of how people look at the industry as well as how they vote when it's time to vote for Best Picture.
Right. Fine, I get it, and at the end of the day, it's not that big of a deal, but this is silly.
Fair enough, because I don't think it's going to win either. And you could put Black Klansman in that as well as Roma, which is a foreign language film, and they got nominated for Best Foreign Language Picture and Best Picture, and that's only happened 5 times in the history of Oscar, and that shows a little diversity going on here. You've got a couple of movies that actually have black in the title, and one of them directed by Spike Lee, a black man who is for the first time nominated for a Best Director as well.
He's never been nominated for Best Director?
No. Do the
He makes
Right
excellent
Thing,
films. How could he
Malcolm X.
possibly not have been nominated?
Because
for Best
there was a
Director?
white bias going on. I mean, it was true.
So you believe that too as
yes.
well? I'm not saying I do or I don't, but you know more about this than I do.
They've diversified the Oscar voters. Now they've added people, younger people. They've made a point of being more multi-ethnic about their voter membership now, and so we're starting to see that happen. That's cool.
That's shocking. That there would be the governing entity or whatever, the Academy, would say, "Yeah, I'm not going to nominate him because he's black," which is essentially what has been talked about for some time.
Sure,
that's sickening.
Yeah, and thankfully they've made a cause out of it, and then they did something about it, and now we've got a Latino-based story, actually in Spanish, as one of the Best Picture. And then we got movies like Black Klansman and Black Panther that would not have probably been nominated 5 years ago. So that's cool. My favorite here is still Green Book. I'm going to stick with that as my favorite of this group. People all thought A Star Is Born was going to run away with, or still thinks it might run away with the awards, but that talk has wavered a little bit since they didn't win a Golden Globe and all of that. Okay.
I guess I should back up. So if you had to choose between Green Book and If Beale Street Could Talk, you would choose If Beale Street Could Talk?
No, it would be Green Book. I did like it a little better.
Oh, you did? Okay.
Mostly because it had a little lighter touch, okay? There was actually a bit more comedy, levity with its social message and its great performances and writing.
Yep, okay.
So it was more of an entertaining movie, even though Beale Street probably moved me more than Green Book did.
Ron, have you ever cried what was the last film that made you weep?
If Beale Street Could Talk,
Wow.
I cry all the time.
Do you really?
I do. I am such a sucker for almost anything that reeks of emotion at all.
I love you. I just want to give you a great big fat hug, but I'm sick. Oh, he makes you cry. I can't. Ron, if I live in a world that I see you cry, I want to be like, oh, God, this is terrible. Throw myself out of the window because I don't want to see you cry,
don't
Ron.
want to see me cry. Oh, I'm a sucker. I cry for commercials on television there. I mean, it's really bad. But
what about like if you're watching a sporting event and it's like if it's way dramatic or something fantastic happens, does that ever make you cry?
No.
Okay, good. I was gonna say that's a little crazy.
So Best Actor, Christian Bale in Vice, Bradley Cooper for Star Is Born, Viggo Mortensen for Green Book, Willem Dafoe for At Eternity's Gate, Rami Malek for Bohemian Rhapsody. A pretty representative group there.
Yeah.
A lot of people think Ethan Hawke for First Reform, Paul Schrader's movie, belonged in that category. And, of course, there were others that were Golden Globe nominees that didn't make it. But that's a good group. John David Washington for Black Klansman. A lot of people liked him in that. Robert Redford for Old Man and the Gun. They could have easily been nominated as well. But right now, I think Rami Malek for Bohemian Rhapsody is the man to beat there.
Man, very interesting. That is cool.
Best Actress Glenn Close in The Wife, Lady Gaga in A Star Is Born, Yalitza Aparicio for Roma, Olivia Colman for The Favorite, and Melissa McCarthy for Can You Ever Forgive Me? And the Golden Globe went to Glenn Close, which as a body of work, Glenn Close has had a great career, and she's never won an Oscar before. Lady Gaga, her first movie. Yalitza Aparicio, not even an actress. I mean, she was cast off the streets in Mexico for Roma.
Isn't that interesting? You get somebody just pick them up off the street, and they're nominated for the highest honor in film.
And that's just crazy.
Oh my gosh! Hey Ron, let me ask you this.
Sure.
The Black Panther film nominated for Best Picture, outside of maybe editing or special effects or makeup, is anybody nominated for Best Actor, Best Supporting Actor, Best Actress, Best Supporting Actor?
No acting.
You see,
awards
you know what? That tells this stinks. This whole thing is a catastrophe. They put that damn movie in there because of social issues, and none of those people have a quality enough acting job in that film to even garner any type of nomination. Probably couldn't act their way out of a wet paper bag.
Now wait,
This is
now
an
you're
awful
across the
film.
line. Wait a minute. Jeez. Michael B. Jordan should have been nominated. How about that?
All right.
Okay, moving on. Actually, 5 of the best pictures are still playing at a Celebration Cinema location.
Yep. I actually heard you talking about that on the radio.
Oh, you
with
did?
one of my old mates, Billy. Bill Simonson.
Mr. Simonson.
That's cool because you can still go to Celebration Cinema and see which films.
Vice, Bohemian Rhapsody, The Favorite, Green Book, and A Star Is Born are all still on the big screen. The others are all available on video and home television. So
all right, Ron,
we don't go day and date there.
So that means this weekend I can see Green Book.
Yes.
God, I have to do this. I say that all the time. I know I do, but I got to.
I would love to discuss that with you next week after you've seen it.
Okay.
So let's try that. So new films this weekend. The best reviews of any of the new movies went to Stan and Ollie, the Laurel and Hardy story. I mean, are you not a fan of an old comic duo?
Of course. I remember watching that. They would show it like reruns of it
on TV
all the
when
time.
We were growing up. Yeah.
Now, those weren't silent.
No,
now Stan
early.
didn't talk much. No. They both talked. I remember.
Right, early on. I mean, they started in the silent era, but they did move into talkies. Yes, and this movie is really more about a swan song, as in set in the 50s in Britain. They went on sort of this vaudevillian tour, and they had really been replaced in cinema and television by Abbott and Costello. That sort of took over that role. So this is John C. Reilly and Steve Coogan playing the pair. It's rated PG, so good for essentially all ages. Take mom or grandma who might remember fondly the old Laurel and Hardy, and best reviews 93% fresh on RottenTomatoes.com.
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
All right.
The Kid Who Would Be King, a PG version of the King Arthur story. Getting good reviews, surprisingly, and it really is compared to Goonies. I don't know, have you ever seen Goonies?
I never did. I've heard of a lot of the references to it.
Right, a lot of people call it one of those.
So I feel like I've seen it.
Right. A bunch of kids doing on a crazy adventure, their camaraderie, kind of a Stand By Me almost feel to it. Do
they like stare down a Native American guy beating a drum at the Lincoln Memorial at one point?
I don't remember that scene.
No.
It was not ripped from yesterday's headlines.
Okay.
This is made 6 months ago.
I'm confusing that with something else going on.
It's got Patrick Stewart as Merlin. That's one of the must-see moments in this movie. Rebecca Ferguson playing the bad guy in this movie, Morgana. Anyway, The Kid Who Would Be King probably comes in second place this weekend because Glass probably holds on to number 1 at the box office. And then Serenity. Listen to this cast: Matthew McConaughey, Anne Hathaway, Diane Lane, Jason Clarke, Jamin Hansu. A murder mystery drama thriller. Matthew McConaughey's sort of retired. He's divorced from Anne Hathaway. He's running a charter boat out of the Caribbean, fishing, living the life, living on the beach. The ex-wife shows up, Anne Hathaway, with the new husband in tow. And but she can't stand the guy, and she hires McConaughey to take him out fishing and feed him to the sharks.
Oh, what a crazy woman. Can you believe this?
I know it.
Now, what's in it for McConaughey's character? Is he going to get some afterwards?
I guess.
Are they going to get back together after he kills this guy?
I guess, and there's money. I don't know.
Tall order.
It is. It's a crazy premise.
Have you ever killed anybody, Ron? Can you imagine Brian goes, "Oh, yes, I have."
No, thou shalt not kill, Eric.
God.
You know the 10 Commandments. Anyway, Serenity, no reviews have been published yet at this time we record. It is rated R for language, sexual content, and some bloody images. That would be the shark eating up Jason Clarke. So those are the new movies. There's also an also-ran this weekend called An Acceptable Loss with Jamie Lee Curtis playing the President of the United States, one of those the drama thrillers set in a parallel universe kind of thing. Wizard of Oz. Do you remember how long ago, what year that came out?
1939?
Yes, it's the 80th anniversary of The Wizard of Oz, and it's coming back to the big screen.
Oh, I love that film. I really do.
Really?
Yeah, I love it. I really do. You're not a fan, or
no? I've seen it so many times. I don't know if I can watch it again. But if you've never seen it on the big screen, come on.
Didn't one of the Munchkins like hang himself in the background? Is that did you have you ever heard about that? That urban legend?
That's an urban legend. No, tell me more.
Well, yeah, but it turned, and so I watched it. Somebody said, "Oh man, if you cue into this spot, Dorothy does this, and then the Tin Man raises his right hand, you will see one of the Munchkins." Kill himself and hang himself. He's just hanging there. And I go, oh my God. So then I watched it, and it was a bird.
It was a bird.
It was a freaking bird. Like, how could some jerk try to pawn off that stupid story? I wasted all that time trying to see this. Because the fact that I even believe that for any amount of time is ridiculous, too. Like, no one would notice the dead guy in the background hanging from a tree and leave it in.
That's
right.
good stuff.
Anyway.
So that's all the new movies coming out this week. I mentioned Glass did $47 million on the 4-day long weekend here. That was a bit below their projections, if you know what I mean. The Upside came in third place. Aquaman. Do you remember talking about Dragon Balls last week?
Yeah, I do. I do remember that. That's the animated film.
Japanese anime came in fourth place, did little over almost $9 million this weekend.
Now, is it Dragon Ball Z or Dragon Balls?
It's called
Dragon Ball Z.
There's a Dragon Ball Z, there's a Dragon Ball Super, there's a Dragon Ball, and now there's Dragon Ball Broly. That's the one that's out there right now.
Oh, that one sounds really lascivious. Yeah.
Broly.
Okay, so which one is the one that's in the movies?
It's the Broly one. It's
Dragon Ball Broly?
Broly is the.
This is stupid. So dumb.
No, it's amazing. Isn't it? So also worth checking out this weekend. There is the SAG Awards are coming out this week as well. And so the Screen Actors Guild, always a great time on award show fodder. And so you can watch that on Sunday night on TV as well.
Have you ever been to an award show, Ron, like that, or Golden Globes or the Oscars?
I never have. It's a tough ticket. I'm not that. I'm just a little.
But I mean, this is a Lokes deal. You guys have a huge amount of pull in the industry.
No, we really don't.
No? All right.
I hate award shows. Why would I want to go and sit there for 3 hours?
Well, I know, but just at least once to experience it. That'd be a good story for you.
Yeah, you're right. Once to experience it. Maybe this year would be the year because they're not going to have a host, right? They're going to just do it. I don't know how they're going to do that.
Wait, what?
They're not going to have a host for the Oscar show this year.
Right, because it was it
Kevin Hart?
It was, yeah. Then that blew up.
They blew him out.
And then there's no one to do it?
That's what they're saying.
Oh, that's stupid. I'll do it. I'll do it for free.
But you're sick.
Let's give the swag bag. It's all they want is a swag bag. Those are worth a lot of money.
Yes, they are. I don't know how they're going to do it. Maybe it'll be nice and short, and that way we'll get in and out of there in 2 hours instead of 3.5. But I'm kind of curious. The ratings have been going steadily downhill year after year.
Yeah, that happens to me all the time. Name a job.
Do you know who's hosted the Oscars more than any other person? Think way back, and this is before our time, but there's a big-name comedian that has hosted the Oscars 18 times, more than anybody else in the history of Oscars.
Okay, I had a guess, but then you said before our time, and I don't think my guess
totally
is before our time. Billy Crystal.
No, that's not him. He didn't do it 18 times. Bob Hope.
Oh.
Where's Bob Hope when you need it? There's no Bob Hope in the world anymore.
Yeah, it's interesting because the way entertainment these days is so different. You think about Bob Hope with the variety show vibe and feel to what he did.
Right.
That type of show would not go off today.
No.
People don't really watch shows like that anymore.
Yeah.
They have different our comedy has become more biting.
Yeah.
The silliness of a show like Hope or whatever he would do that would get
Carol Burnett.
Yeah, that doesn't happen anymore.
Show.
You think about how cheesy the comedy was that we laughed at in the 1970s and 80s. They did that now. It's like a plot of a Nickelodeon show.
Well, but Saturday Night Live, is that not kind of where we've progressed in that sort of Bob Hope themed thing?
Yeah, I think so.
But we don't have one host that's done it for ever and ever like he did, or Carol Burnett for all those years.
And maybe that has to do with people are so fickle and their tastes change so much because they're exposed to so much.
Yes.
In terms of all the different content.
All the choices that are out there. That's right.
Ron, always a pleasure. I can't tell you how much. I enjoyed it always when we were together on BBL. I enjoy this as much or more. So
thank you, Eric. It's great to be with you, and thank you for coming out even in your present condition.
Well, I hope they spray this microphone with Lysol. Gene, we got to spray this thing down. Gene says I'm throwing it away. All right. Once again, from the palatial satellite digs of WKTV, my gosh. This has been Talking Movies with Ron Van Timmer. Ron, please take us out.
See you in the movies.
Indeed.
Oh, my gosh. That is it. The end of Not the Best of the Eric Zane Show podcast. Thank you for checking it out. Fresh show, Tuesday, January 9th. Thank you so much for checking this out, though, and supporting me. Consider signing up for my Patreon, patreon.com/Eric Zane. Ad-free, listener-supported. That's what I'm talking about. Thank you so much, folks. Have a great one. Till next time, bye-bye.